Okay, here we go. Hopefully my audio is a little better. Actually, I've been asked to fix something here. Let me see what I can do. Disregard this part. Okay, I think that should help. My hope is that it's easier to hear me now. Here we go. So, last time we had some success. Beat the wizards, beat Astos, sold some weapons. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a really good time. Goodness. Sold an iron helmet because I'm a nincompoop. Might need to use the Melman shop. And I see no reason not to do it, really. In doing so, there's going to be this time where it actually makes sense to, I believe it makes sense to give Lukey some actual armor. An oddity with him is because his absorb increases naturally, I don't really have to equip him, but if I were to give him a silver bracelet, gloves, and cap, he would have 17 absorb, which he's not going to get for a few levels, and that's going to be important, so there are some decisions to make here, and I have a little bit of money. I don't really see any reason to buy any level 1 black magic, but just for the sake of having something novel to do, I don't know, does it make sense? These could be handy if the defense is in someone else's hands, and it might be. Well, let's not get any magic. We're gonna do all our level 1 magic after class change. Level 2 magic, not significant. We won't spend our money on it right now. Our money is gonna be a little tight, I think. Temporarily. Yeah. Well, let's see about going to the Melman shop, which I think is the next thing I can do. I could go to the Marsh Cave. Honestly, it would kind of make sense to grab the silver bracelet from there, save some money, get some money. But the Marsh Cave's such a pain, and it would use up so many pure potions. On the other hand, I bought a bunch, and there wouldn't be much in the way of danger. Maybe I should just do that. At least there's no double forest trek there. I think we're going to go to the Marsh Cave for a bonus visit. Alright, someone's telling me it's worth it. So now I have able to see my chat. Morgren happens to be on, which is kind of cool. So, yeah, last time he was in the chat and I wasn't paying attention. It is neat to be able to interact with someone, so here we go. Now I actually have encouragement. I'm going to go to the Marsh Cave. Because someone told me to. Off the top of my head, I don't recall if there's any other rooms that matter on the way. I'll have a look. I could use a few sources of money. I mean, there's a lot of things I'll want to buy, especially when it comes to magic later on. For Mars, thankfully I don't have a magic-heavy party. So that's what we'll do. We'll go to the Marsh Cave. I don't want to do anything related to the Earth Cave until Lukey gains at least one more level anyway. I was looking at his status screen here, and I'll do it again. But you can see here his hit percentage, which again isn't a real percentage, is 29. So your hits increase every threshold of 32 you roll over, and he gains 3 points per level naturally. So he's going to gain 1 level, and his accuracy is going to go up. And suddenly, because he's an unarmed black belt, he's going to start doing 4 hits. And his damage is a little lower than the fighters, but with that many hits against a foe that doesn't have much, I said foe, against a Vietnamese soup dish with low defense, he's going to be able to really pump out the damage. Always nice to run into an ogre too. And I'm also, another goal for today, I kind of thought about how I'm going to strategically have people die against the fiends. And I'm going to want my fighters alive against the later first or left side. Oh, but I don't even know where I'm walking. Yeah, thank you for the geography there, because I would have been just randomly looking in the rooms on the bottom. And I still might, depending how it's going. Anyway, what was I saying? I got distracted. Yeah, he can do 4 hits of pretty good damage. So against enemies without a lot of armor, he does good damage. And also because he has a fairly high, or he'll start to develop a fairly high critical rate, he'll be a very, very good source of damage. Later on, Mars is going to be able to learn the Fast spell, and Fast doubles someone's attacks. Maybe that's something I should be considering for later bosses, actually, but we'll see about that. I would really love to use the Bane Sword against Tiamat, however you say it. Tiamat, phonetically, right? So, the Bane Sword, I believe the probabilities were recently discussed, and it's something like a 25% chance to one-hit kill Tiamat. The problem being, by my rules, I only have one chance to use the Bane Sword, but 25% chance of just killing a boss? Oh, darn. Well, 25% chance of killing a boss is pretty special. My weapons happen to have 4 critical rates. It's being discussed because, oh, well, look at that. Because of a hurt and heal weapon topic on Game FAQs right now, people are talking about the Tiamat, yeah. People are talking about the weapons that thieves are capable of using. That didn't go badly at all. The weapons thieves are capable of using, and the huge benefit to critical rate. Well, especially with thieves, really, because they have lower damage output. Oh, man. They really want me to get poisoned, and it's not working. Kind of a neat thing that can happen here is I have a bunch of fighters and black belts, and they gain this hidden statistic in the background. It's a magic defense or magic defense-like statistic that reduces the damage of spells and the effectiveness of status spells, sort of, and also status attacks. I say sort of because it doesn't reduce the damage, but it reduces the chance of a doubling that randomly takes effect. If, and I keep reflecting on D&D mechanics while I'm playing this, if you think of saving throws that have existed in D&D for a long time, I'm not even really familiar with first edition D&D, but if we're looking at second edition and certainly newer, you start to see how closely tied in it is. So fighters gain strong saves because they're good at resisting things like poison and magic rod attacks. And monks especially would have strong saves. People sometimes ask, why do the wizards have bad saves against magic? But it's sort of a precedent from D&D. Oh. So magic defense in this game actually works a lot like D&D. It gives you a chance to either avoid an effect entirely, or to take basically half damage from that effect. Kind of like modern D&D, there's lots of things you can save for half damage. Maybe not modern, I don't know, I'm not that current, but I play a lot of 3.5 edition Pathfinder, or at least I have. And that stuff where a damaging spell, roll your save and take half damage, it works more or less the same way. It's kind of strange how well the mechanics from this game line up with D&D 3.5. I think I talked about that a bit earlier, because I was talking about the way you gain additional hits. and it's by your hit rate increasing, as we've seen. So you gain accuracy, and then you start being able to attack more times. Fighters gain more attacks than magic users do. So that works much the same way in FF1 as it does in D&D 3.0, 3.5, Pathfinder. Which is odd. It lines up better with the newer ones than it does with 2nd edition. In 2nd edition, things were a little more straightforward, a little more almost bland, you could say. I'm not calling it a bad edition or anything, but the only class, the only non-expansion class that had multiple attacks was fighters. And they just had one attack, and then I think it was at something like 8th level, they got an extra attack every other round, and then after something fairly high, like 13th level, they got 2 attacks per round. Oh, well, that's a wasted. Well, no one's paralyzed, I should shut up. So yeah, it's kind of funny watching the connections between FF1 and D&D, and there's a lot of more overt connections. I think we had a topic a while ago that was everything we could find related between FF1 and D&D. Obviously, a lot of the monsters are directly inspired. I mean, they seem like generic fantasy monsters, but a lot of them are pretty clearly D&D monsters. One that's a bit overt is the Eye. Second room has Silver Knife. Third has none. Fourth has 1,020 gold. You know, I'm not really feeling in danger. I might just go through them all. I mean, I would skip the none. Not trying to backseat it. No, I appreciate it. If I was smart, I would have looked it up earlier. But, you know, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do today. So this ends up being perfect. I mean, I knew I didn't want to do Earth Cave. Alright, here we go. Silver Bracelet coming up. Right after some poison. Right after some delicious, delicious poison. I also have my fighters with slightly subpar weaponry. Slightly. I had those nice magic swords, and then I did a gigantic goof at the end of the last session. It was really stupid. It was incredibly stupid. So now Tick actually is the only one kind of attacking as effectively as he was yesterday. I'll be able to fix that when I get to Crescent Lake. I'll just be blocking off a lot of weapon stores for myself, but it won't be bad. This is sort of the reason I need to accrue some gold, though. If I'm going to late game stores earlier, or kind of late games, they're not really late game stores, but later game stores, then I'll need the money to make use of it. Weapons, I guess that's not that big a deal. Frankly, the last store-bought weapon that's going to be significant for my group is the cat. No, not even the cat claw. There's no reason to buy a cat claw for this group. So it really is the silver sword. After that, every weapon I can make significant use of is going to be something I find. Tell me I just used a pure. Let's redo. I'm not paying attention to myself here. Okay. Heal. Cure. Everyone take care of yourself. The regular spiders are not venomous. The greater subgroup of arachnids is. So that was a safe move. Spiders are also pathetic enemies. They have a very low HP and damage. Okay. One of these sides is safe, and I don't remember which one. I'm gonna go on the... Oh. Hey, I found the spot that wasn't safe. Okay. This'll be okay. We've got a weresword, after all. Right here. Not even hard, right? Remind me to avoid that space. Okay, don't step there again. So, here? Yeah, nice. Oh, right. I think I also have to not drop the gloves, because they're going to come in handy. Okay. Silver armlet. I'll call it armlet. It sounds more manly than bracelet. Lukey, if I look at his stats now, and I am saying Lukey, his absorb... Whoa, what the heck just happened to the sound? Goodness. Did the sound change for you? Whoa. The sound just went really wonky on my end. Thanks. Alright. So, I got the silver bracelet. What was I doing? Oh, I was checking out the stats, right? Okay, Lukey's absorb is 9, and his evade is... Oh, the sound went on for you too. Okay. Evade is 58. If I put on the gloves and the silver armlet, it's quite a bit higher absorb and slightly lower evade, which doesn't really matter as much in this game. The sound is odd, you say. Is it really loud, or is it tolerable? It seemed to get really loud for me and like grindy sounding. Anyway, that's what I wanted to happen there. Not the sound, but the getting the bracelet or armlet. Okay, so the second one has something not very worthwhile, but why not? Wizards? Good. You just heard what I heard. Okay, yeah, perfect. I mean, not perfect, but whatever. I do believe I remember my NES actually doing this sometimes. I don't know why. Yeah, okay. Yeah, my NES is actually hooked up downstairs, but not working well with my TV. I think I need a new RF switch. Oh, I did something stupid, but we'll be fine. This is nowhere near the stupidest thing I've done lately. I thought these guys had 80 HP. Is it 80 something? Oh, that sound is terrible. Maybe I should just kill the sound. Okay, Wood gained a level. Now, Lukey gained a level. We're going to be able to observe something interesting here, one of the buggy behaviors of the Black Belt. 88, yeah, that would explain it. Okay, so if we look at Lukey now, something funny happened. I did just put that armlet on him, as well as the... What's he wearing? Gloves? Yeah, gloves. And his absorb is equal to 16 with that equipment. For that matter, I should be putting the cap on him. Right now the dead guy is wearing the cap. But when he gains a level, it does one of these funny black belt glitches. And the glitch is, because he's not wielding a weapon, but is wearing armor, it's supposed to check that if he's not wearing armor, he gains his natural armor bonus, which none of the other classes have. And if he's not wearing armor, I don't know if I can even explain it. Anyway, it's because he's not wielding a weapon, but he is wearing armor. For some reason, it sets his absorb equal to his level every time he gains a level. As soon as I go back to the armor screen, and I don't even have to do anything, I just have to look at it, it sets it back to 16. So, that's nice. And I am, in fact, going to do what I just said there. No reason that Mars needs to be a well-dressed corpse. And I got the silver knife, but that's not going to be significant, is it? 30, 50. 25%, no. We're better like this for now. Here. Well-dressed corpse can be a defended close. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a reasonable understanding of how it works, but just not how to explain it. The third room, I was told, is nothing, and I seem to recall that even. And this one's just money, but you know, we're here. Let's do it. This is a lot of scum. Considering I basically need critical hits to kill scum, this is kind of crappy. Does anyone remember NES's making this terrible sound? Oh yeah, Lukey gained his level, so he's up to 4 hits. That is a bonus against scum, because he's got more chances at the critical that will make this fight move along. Let's fast forward. Golly. A little slow. Well, it's not like I can cure poison out of battle, so I should just shut up. Is it wizards? Man. This isn't exactly a great place to cure my poison. So I'm not going to. This is going to result in something strange where Lukey is going to be very close to dying, which does not interest me. So let's get him some heal potions. That lovely sound. How about this room? Anything good here? When in Rome. Yeah, the problem with my NES, actually, when you turn the sound on, it actually works perfectly. The sound. The video shows up in kind of a wacky old gray line type image. You can't really make out anything either. Otherwise, my wife and I probably would have just played Super Mario 3 like that. How often have you sat through something that was visually completely wrong? I remember distinctly, this is a funny one. One time, someone gave me a copy of Bubble Bobble, or some Bubble Bobble game for PlayStation. But it turns out they gave me a PAL version copy, a European version of the game. And it would run on my PlayStation, but the aspect ratio was all wrong, and it showed up in black and white. I tried playing it anyway, but Bubble Bobble's not a very good game to play without color. I am kind of interested in Ticker Wood dying, but I need to get out of here first. Look at that damage. Do I need to know what's in the other rooms? You know, I'm not sure. I'm a little bit preoccupied with the living. Oh, well, there we go. See? I just guessed on that one, and totally worth it. Thankfully, mucks are not hard. They're squishy. Haha. Bubble Bobble has been for a lot of platforms. I mean, obviously it started in arcades. I don't remember the earliest non-arcade version of it I played. I've always enjoyed the NES version. It's one of those games, there were a couple games where you get to the end and you're not sure if it's the real end and you hear there's so many levels. My brother was always very much into, my brother was much older than me. He was always into Gauntlet. And only thing left is Iron Armor. Didn't I get the Iron Armor? I think I might have. I certainly don't need it. I'm carrying at least one, maybe two that are completely unused. Anyway, my brother liked Gauntlet, and it said something like over 100 levels on the box. And one time we got to level 100, playing for what had to be hours, he and I, together. And he got very frustrated when we beat level 100 and it wasn't the end of the game. And then we played up to 105 or something, and by then he was just mad, and he angrily turned off whatever we were playing. I forget what system it was on. I think it was NES. Might have been Gauntlet 2. Gauntlet 1 on NES wasn't as good. I don't remember what about it wasn't good, but I remember feeling better playing Gauntlet 2. I think it was partly the graphics. It's funny the graphics mattered so much when we were playing games that looked like this all the time. But they did. It's funny, you can find these old reviews of games. I remember one distinctly for Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, commenting on the realistic graphics. And you look at it now and you're like, someone ever called this realistic? That's madness. And not sarcastically. They said Castlevania 2 had realistic graphics for its time. And I get it. Things had walking frames. There were trees, sort of. The entire ground in Castlevania 2 was made out of little blocks. That was the thing that bothered me about that one graphically. At the time, I guess that was commonplace. I guess it bothers me now. I think you could do a graphic hack of Castlevania 2 just to freshen it up, using still NES graphics. And I think that would go over well. Kind of like the FF facelift hack of FF1. Doesn't change a thing except for the graphics and just kind of brings it up to FF3 standards. And ends up looking pretty good. Gauntlet Dark Legacy. I don't even think I played that. I played Gauntlet Legends a lot on N64. That was one of the ones that required the N64 memory pack. I think it might have even come with it. I'm not sure. Yeah, I spent a lot of time on that. There wasn't much of a point after a while. You get to a certain point where all you're doing is your attacks are more effective than any of the items you could pick it up. Sorry, your attacks were better than any items. And your survivability was not a problem after a point. So you would pick up the treasure, you would sell it, and you would buy permanent stat bonuses until you were, even more immortal. And the game just ended up like that. It was a grind without any particular great evil you needed to beat at the end. I still did it, me and a group of friends actually. That was when we were same room multiplayering an awful lot, so. Wow. This sound is terrible. But as long as it's not overwhelming the audio. Doesn't sound pretty. Yeah, I pretty much, in my gaming history, again, my brother had a 2600 and a few other things. He actually had an Atari ST before we got the NES. The NES was mine. I was 8 or so when I got an NES. And the jump for me pretty much went from 2600 to NES, and that was a big jump. When you go from PS3 to PS4 nowadays, there are people who are going to say that's a giant graphics leap, but it's really not. For that matter, I would argue that the PS3 hardware hasn't even hit its limits. It used to be that, games would come out very late in a platform's life and make incredible use of that platform that no one had realized earlier. If you compare early NES titles, why did I do that? Compare early NES titles to late NES titles, the difference is incredible. Early Super Nintendo titles to late Super Nintendo titles. You could even see it on the PlayStation, but later on that jump wasn't as big. And I have no problem feeling reasonably immersed in PS2, GameCube era games. Then again, I tend to prefer games that aren't realistic in nature or really graphically. Do I have a PS4? No, I don't really have anything. Actually, I got a Wii U for Christmas. I was talking about playing Mario Maker. That is the first mainstream console that I've had in my house since I got a Wii, and I was an early Wii adopter, and I only just got a Wii U. So I haven't exactly been current. I've got young kids. The Wii and Wii U have been great for them, and for me to play with them a little bit. We don't overdo it. In between, I got an Ouya. I've been a very happy Ouya owner. Those aren't exactly commonplace, and I don't even know if they're still well supported, frankly. There's a few things I like on it, though. One thing that it's basically a mobile game that I play on my TV. It's called, I think it's called Nimble Quest, and it's this game that plays like Snake, like the old cell phone game, except that the pixels of the snake are all little characters with personalities and abilities, and they shoot enemies, and you run around as a snake of these fantasy archetype characters. And so you start with a warrior, a wizard, and an archer, and they get upgrades. So the warrior hits harder, the archer shoots further. Then you get other wizards, different elemental wizards. You get a skeleton to join the team that I don't really understand. I wish the sound was better. I think I might save at the end and then reset, just to make this a little more pleasant to listen to. Well, I hope this trip somewhat helps my money problems that may or may not have existed. Anyway, Nimble Quest, one of those games that has no point, and it's basically the entire game is a grind. I don't know. I guess that's not necessarily a turn-off for me. I never really got into MMOs. I played a fair bit of Diablo 2. I played RuneQuest for a little while, but I never got into World of Warcraft. And I think it's partly that you keep grinding up with no particular upward, I don't know, end goal. I like beating the end boss. It's kind of funny that I say that. I do like beating the end boss, and then I like grinding more and then beating the end boss worse. I do like totally clobbering a game. But I have a friend, a childhood friend. I actually met him in grade 5. We're still friends. And he always had a thing about not beating the end boss, if you could believe it. I remember distinctly, right around the time I met him, Final Fantasy II came out in the US. A jingle bell? I do have 2 cats in the room. Okay, we're gonna reset here. Please don't screw up, please don't screw up. Good. Yeah, so you probably did hear a bell. Anyway, my friend in grade 5, yeah, one of the first birthdays I spent with him was he had just got Final Fantasy II on Super... Wait, who am I doing here? Mars. Right? Yeah. There's reasons for that. I'll get to it. Final Fantasy II had just come out, and I remember one day going to his house. It was right after they got Final Fantasy II, which, when you've played Final Fantasy 1, it used to be that, good games didn't come out for years, and you're a little kid and you don't have the money to buy games, and you spend, all your time playing a handful of games for years. So in the time when I had an NES, probably half of my leisure time, when my parents didn't tell me to go outside, was playing this game that we're looking at right now and Super Mario 3. And Final Fantasy 2, I guess, was like that, so they very quickly beat it, and I remember him being disappointed to see the end. Then when Final Fantasy III was out, he literally was playing Kefka's Tower, got to the ending dialogue with Kefka, where the party has their self-help book speech and says it's over, Kefka, and then you choose the final party, and then you start fighting the end boss, and he got up and turned the game off. He just didn't want to see the end of the game. And he did that again and again, and he loved JRPGs, and he got every new JRPG. He liked all kinds of RPGs, actually. He played more Western RPGs than I did. But he would never beat them. He just wanted to play them. He did not have any interest in the end boss or the ending. Melmond Weapon Shop doesn't really have anything for me, unless I want to get a longsword for a... I just realized the sound is still bad. This is sucky. I wasn't even paying attention. That's quite funny to me. Maybe that'll help. Armor? I can just wait for Crescent Lake. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Let's go to Crescent Lake. The problem with Crescent Lake, unless I'm wrong, is that there's a massive forest around it that I'll be able to skip, I think, once I have the canoe, but not until. But this shopping trip is important. It's also a good place to get money. I have to admit, I may not have thought through Tick being dead, because those fighters make excellent meat shields, and Mars could really get clobbered by trolls and bulls. We'll have to see about that. The reason I killed off Tick was I thought kind of against the easier fiends, it might make sense to have the fighters dead, so that I can have them alive against Kraken and possibly Tiamat. Although I do like the idea of using the Bane Sword. Is there any way to avoid this forest? What a nightmare. Oh, no, this is terrible. Well, at least cobras, for some ridiculous reason, aren't venomous. This will be fun. My first magic spell of the whole game. Watch out for Zombull. Yeah, I will be watching out for Zombull. Here we just have regular Bull. So once I kill it, I guess it becomes Zombull. A well-known poster that we all appreciate. Cobras are poisonous? I know in real life they are, but they aren't in the game, are they? I thought only asps were poisonous. That went reasonably well. If we get through this without being poisoned, that's pretty grand. That went well. That was nice. Too bad I don't have magic for every fight that I'm gonna encounter here. Oh, I just used the loot. Was there a rule about using the loot? I'm going to be using a lot of heal potions on this walk. In fact, this whole walk might be a bad idea. But I did just save when I revived things, so... Here we go. Appreciating nature. Begin. This is too much nature. Love giants. I mean, the sprite looks awful. So I picture the middle part under the pink line being their big gut hanging out. And then they have like no legs and big boots at the bottom. And then that flap on the right hand side I picture being a flap. Some kind of fat guy flap. So yeah, I don't think that sprite does well. If you look at the actual Amano art though, it's very nice. It's very similar to the design used in other games like Final Fantasy V. It's actually the same giant sprite. You'd not really be able to tell. This is a lot. I think the trolls are quite a bit more threatening. Sorry, Zombo. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you actually care about your bull brethren. Oh, no. I need to check the phrasing of the rule about the appreciating nature. What if I want to just leave the forest without going through it? Can I do that? Like, is the rule only apply when I... Oh, shit. Does the rule only apply when I want to traverse forest? Am I allowed to visit forest? I should have looked into that earlier. I guess I didn't realize this was going to go so badly so quickly. Well, Wood and Mars are going to live. Wood is perfectly well defended against the bulls. But we've got a lot of forest to walk through. This isn't going to be the best day ever for my party. Avoid the forest if you can. Well, yeah, my question is more like, I step in the forest. Do I have to walk through every square or die? Or can I just leave? I need to go back to Goatfishman's original post and oh, okay. Well, that's... If Wood can survive this, that's going to be actually kind of great, right? High-level fighter. Wow, this is... This is nasty. Solos work, but I don't know if they usually work at this level and with subpar equipment. Yeah, that would be appreciated. Thank you. Was I walking upward or downward? I think I was walking upward. This forest is a pain in the butt. Me having to come to Crescent Lake before attempting the Earth Cave is a pain in the butt. I said having. Really, I mean choosing. I did make a mistake. I probably could have just walked into that building and bought the silver sword there. No one would have said anything. But I am, again, working towards always observing the spirit of the challenge as it is. And it's not much of a challenge, there's just going to be parts that I play differently. Which is what adds interest, right? So, I'm going to make some money here. One hit for big damage. This guy's not even 2-hit capable, is he? Just big damage. If Lord Morgring comes back and tells me I don't have to walk through the forest, we are going to abandon ship. We'll have earned some money and some experience, and everyone will be happy with that. But we're not sticking around here. I think I'll still want to do this before the Earth Cave, though. I just had a bad start. Okay, here's the actual post coming up. I've been not appreciating nature, yep. Oh, trust me, I'm appreciating it. I have so much appreciation right now. This is wonderful. There's nothing that's going to make me appreciate nature more than walking through every tile of a forest filled with trolls. Would have been good if this could have been phrased in such a way that I simply had to walk through every forest tile once or something. I guess that would be much more boring because I could do it all at endgame. But really, the part of the not appreciating nature rule that I like the most is the block from Provoca. I mean, I had a reasonably good challenge in the early game because of that. Did I walk up here? I don't remember. Oh no. Well, healing would be stupid. Ooh. Oh, I didn't see the whole post. Not appreciating it. Oh. Well. No big deal. This might seem hard-headed. So all I saw in the chat there was I banned not appreciating nature, so it didn't include his whole explanation about what appreciating nature is. I didn't get to see that here. Need to make some equip changes here, I think. Maybe I should buy a longsword in Melmond. They are a little better than falcons. Marginally. No, for some reason it didn't. All I see is okay from Goatfishmen. I ban not appreciating nature. And then I see haha. I don't know why that is. You enter a forest tile. You must traverse every tile of forest connected to that forest before you're allowed to continue. Yeah, you're right. That's pretty clear. That it's that to continue, so I can enter the forest and back out. I take from that, and it's totally going to be my interpretation because, of course, it's the most favorable interpretation. Tick is dead. Let's not have him wearing our best stuff. What Melmond does have is a slight armor upgrade, but it's kind of expensive for what it is. And it does have the steel armor, but I don't think I plan on buying the... Yeah, okay. I don't plan on buying the steel armor. I think I really want to go to Crescent Lake. And I think I should be able to survive it. I'm just going to try again. And hey, we've learned I can back out of a forest if I need to. So, in the worst case, it's money and experience, which I'll probably want based on recent experiences anyway. Always nice to run into Kaizokus. They are cash bags. If you don't know part of the reason I love Kaizoku, I think it's fairly common knowledge. They have the best gold to experience ratio of all enemies in the game. And that might not seem very significant, but for people who want a still challenging game where they beat it at a reasonably low level, you can fight them to gain money and not gain that many levels. Which I guess the idea there is pirates have treasure. Sharks have a 1-to-1 ratio, if I recall correctly, 66 and 66, or... Oh no, I'm clearly thinking of something else. Yeah, some enemies are more worthwhile to fight than others. I talked about that a lot in the early segments where I was I was fighting like large groups of wolves. I'd much rather fight imps than wolves. Wolves are worth more, but they're so much more dangerous than imps against a low-level party that it's not really worth the time and effort of fighting a group of wolves, let alone the Gur wolves. I still don't like running into them. I think it is a waste of time, but we don't get to choose our battles. Hey, did that saying originate with Final Fantasy 1? That would be weird. I would prefer if Lukey didn't die here. Hey, you didn't hear me. Those were all reasonably good damage. So yeah, the goal is get to Crescent Lake, do a comprehensive armor upgrade, and by that I mean, well, that's a bonus. Silver swords, probably 2 silver swords. Yeah, I get that. Probably 2 silver swords. A buckler might be nice for Mars. Silver helmet would be the last piece of armor I need to buy for head, for wood and for tick. Silver gauntlet could be marginally helpful if I've got the money. I don't need silver armor, but all these little things are going to add up. They'd be significant. I'm trying to remember who's the bigger threat here. Oh no, don't gang up on him. He's friendly. That's why he's pummeling you. I like the way trolls and bulls work together. You don't hear a lot of mythology where minotaurs are friends with trolls. I think it'd be a fun thing to have like a version of this game, a hack, a very comprehensive hack, where you start with a troll and a bull. And then maybe as you play through the game, you can befriend a Pede and a giant. Class change to sea troll and zombull. Yeah, Reds can use silver armor, but he's already got some because it was in a chest somewhere. Where did he get it? Not Marsh Cave. Corneria Castle? Or Dwarf Cave? Dwarf Cave, I think. So he's decked out in his silver armor. It is slightly better than it's significantly better than the chain. Same weight as the chain and a bit more armor. I tend to keep my fighters in the iron armor, which offers quite a bit more absorb at the at the expense of, yeah, that's bad. What was I just saying? Something about oh yeah, fighters. You can upgrade to silver armor. It's actually less absorbed than the iron armor, but it allows you to dodge a bit more easily. But evade is not... In some games it's a very significant statistic. In this one it just isn't the make or break. Things still hit you. And the absorb tends to be the bigger benefit. And the absorb can get high enough that it matters more than evade. I'm sure if there were ways to raise your evade in huge amounts, which really there's none other than leveling up, you might see more misses. Frankly, by the time a thief, for example, could gain enough agility to regularly cause low-level enemies to miss them in a manner that it became something you could more or less depend on, those enemies would start running away from the party because you would be high level. I should have stopped for some heal potions, but at least I get a first strike here. Ooh, and a crit. Nice. I like the troll sprite. It looks so pained, for lack of a better term. Lots of experience. This is good. So I didn't touch every tile there because I need to take a route back through some of these tiles, so I am planning to account for that. And frankly, if I don't care. But I said they look pained. They look like they're in agony to me. They're clutching their head, is how it appears to me. Like they've got a terrible headache. Someone must hit them with fire or acid. Maybe it's because they have no genitalia. I don't know. Are the trolls male or female? I think the trolls look cool. Luki really got decked in that last fight. Oh no. Wow. I feel pretty good about having nearly covered off the male trolls are called trolls, female trolls are called trollas. I don't believe that. That can't be a real thing. That's an internet thing, right? Don't believe the internet. I feel pretty good about clearing out this top section of forest. Unfortunately, it's not the biggest problem here. It sounds good, yeah, but no, it does not. This is too many guys. Let's see what we can do here. That was me getting sick of frequent combat, but I probably shouldn't do that. It's not efficient. Troll has got a troll. Okay, so now down to here is done. It occurs to me I'm going to have to do this again when I leave. Should be easier when I have to leave. We'll see. I think I'm going to stop for night if and when I get to the city. Well, not even if, more like when I get there or don't. I'm not going to take another attempt. I have to get to sleep. One of these nights recently I got a good night's sleep and it was pretty remarkable, so. Did you say no because of the poison? I didn't realize that peds could poison. It's not the worst thing that could happen. You guys do a lot of damage and take forever to kill. Ain't doing that crap again. Oh. Well, if only I could just pick up the canoe now, that would save me a lot of trouble, but actually it looks like it wouldn't at a cursory glance. I think the only way out of here is through forest. One of my limitations is getting the airship before Ordeals or Gurgu Volcano, which forces me to do the... oh goodness, the ice cave after the earth cave. This is not good. My party order got changed to be very suboptimal. I wish I could poison Luki now. Oh, that hurts. Well, you know, last time I had pretty good luck with Mars and Luki dying kind of early and Wood walking on his own. And I think if that had to happen again, it would end up being okay. Yeah, the ice cave is going to be pretty nasty. What with all the death? Oh, I meant to heal the poison. Oh, darn. I even said something about it, didn't I? I don't have a particular plan for the ice cave, other than be mildly over-leveled so that I can resist status attacks. This was so nice last time. I would like it to be that nice again. Good. Death, death, and more death, yeah. Well, there's the mages, they're never fun. Sorcerers, they're never too fun. Frost giants. The good news... wait, no, it's terrible news. The good news is that I can't run from the frost giants. So, you can't run from them whether you have that restriction on or not, so it doesn't make a difference. Imagine how different this would be going right now if I could run from battles. I would have ran from half of these battles. I might have still fought the trolls and bulls because they're very profitable. Yeah, that's true. So, Lord Morgan, who I've been talking to in the chat, is doing a challenge play of sorts of his own. For neither of us is it like a crazy challenge, but it's a set of rules that changes the nature of the way you play the game, which is just an interesting experience. And so he's doing one. He said that he, and I'm saying he, even though I could be just talking to you because you're the only one here, but just on the off chance that someone else is watching, that you're using the Origins Guide, which has a different, like, treasure list. No, I forget. It was just different names, but the treasure, I think, would be consistent in Origins. But in newer versions, it gets weird. Origins, if that's what you're playing, the mages behave quite a bit differently. Because the spell orders and things were changed in Origins. Most people would say Origins is the best remake of Final Fantasy I that's existed officially. And I agree with that. I like Origins. I haven't played it in an awfully long time. But yeah, it retains the challenge. It changes things. Some things are a different challenge, but it adds some new challenge. There's differences in a lot of boss behavior. So there's mages in one version that pop up with a rub attack, which is never fun, and mages in the other version that pop out with Fire 3, which, if everything hits hard, can be a wipe. So I've used a lot of potions. Playing the NES version currently. So off the top of my head, I honestly don't remember if that one's the one with the rubber, the Fire 3, but I'm guessing you said Fire 3, you must remember that. Oh, hey. Bug fixes. Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, I've been talking about some of the bugs we've been encountering as we go through them. Oh, I would totally agree about the last rule being helpful. Although I was considering using a thief. I said that in a previous session. I like the idea of not having duplicate classes, so... yeah, I was actually going to use the thief with this until I got that rule, and it was one of the last few rules added. Some of the rules are intense. The one about appreciating nature is the weird one. And it's not written there as appreciating nature, but it's the rule given by Goatfishman is that if you touch a forest tile, you need to walk through the entire forest before continuing, and that's what I'm dealing with right now. A treasure list online for NES. Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of them, really. I think I'm close enough to Crescent Lake that I'm not going to bother with the after-battle healing. And we'll see what that ends up doing. Yeah, with regards to that forest rule, it was really tough when I was leaving the very first city, Corneria, heading for Provoca. And I kind of didn't recall that Crescent Lake was going to be this much of a pain. But when we get to Le Fen, late game, there's hundreds of forest tiles, all connected and all full of enemies that are kind of crappy to fight, so... I'm not sure how I feel about Lukey dying there. Frankly, I think I might rather if Mars died, and then I could revive Tick and Lukey in the city. These walks through the forest feel a lot like grinding for money. And it used to be that when I was playing this game, obviously not in a challenge, I usually wanted all the best stuff in every city. I think if you take the time to get grind money to get all the magic and equipment you need for just about any given party, you end up slightly overpowered for regular encounters. I would say, on average, in this game. The only real wrench in that would be black belts. Well, and thieves. Thieves take less equipment than any class other than black belts. And they gain the least power, so they're not going to be overpowered. This is good finally responding to the chat. Had some problems with that yesterday. Oh, my party is super unbalanced. In terms of experience, I mean. Although it is nice for Mars to finally be gaining some levels. Okay, let's see how this goes. Once I get all the new equipment... Oh, this is going to be a piece of crap. Once I get all the new equipment, it might be that... Oh, no. Imagine if I died here? That would be very sad. Yuck. No, 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 no. This can't happen this way. I might have a little bit of a breakdown here. This sucks. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is rotten. And he didn't even kill the thing. Oh no. This is how this run ends. This is terrible. Who gave me these ridiculous rules? I demand that you all try this challenge so that I can have my revenge. Stay alive. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, but I could be using heal potions, but I don't think I can keep up with the damage coming in. If I get down to like 3 cobras, I'm going to be able to use heal potions. Don't give up hope. Oh, okay. Maybe we should be giving up hope. Holy crap. It's terrible to watch. Criticals. Arrgh. They get criticals for like 24 damage. Let's try getting out one more. Oh, I can't even believe this is happening. Oh. I was like 2 squares from the freaking city. I went into that battle in pretty good shape just without magic. Oh, that was awful. Should I be revising that plan to go to Crescent Lake? Oh, I forgot I saved here. Huh. Yeah, blame Goatfish Man. That's exactly right. I do. Oh. I need to save again when I'm closer. Okay. So, I definitely said that I was going to go to bed if I died, but I had a save right there. I really wanted to happen. I'm going to try one more time to just get to the city and then stop. You know what was the beginning of the end? It was when Wood got put on the bottom of the party order. Because he can stay up there and tank hits. Apparently not that many, but he can tank a reasonable number of hits. This is worse than I even had last time. I'm going to fast forward a bit. Because these guys take forever to kill. This isn't going well. That was something. At least that didn't feel as crappy as the previous one. Past your bedtime? Yeah, it's past my bedtime too. I need to get to the city. I've committed at this point. Anyways, if you're going, thanks for joining me. Maybe I should turn in and start fresh another time anyway. Start fresh. Maybe I should have brought Tick. Maybe I need Mars to die. But, you know, his fire magic comes in a little bit handy. But he's too low level. What time is it for me? It's 10:30. So, I typically get up at 6 on weekdays. I typically get up at 6 on weekdays, but it's important noting that once my wife goes to bed is really the only time I get to do things like this. So this is pretty much my regular time. It would be 9 o'clock until I need to be done. And it might be that I need to be done right now. I'm not sure. I think that death at the very gates of Crescent Lake City was supposed to tell me something. Oh, did I change my armor already? I did that move where I... Yeah, okay. Wake up at 4 to 4:30. I seem to recall you were in security industry in some way, right? I could be remembering wrong. That was my deferred deep breath from when I had that total party kill. Yeah, okay. I don't like these large groups of Peds. Peds are more of a pain than I ever remember them being. Probably because they're not rare, but rare relative to the trolls and bulls and such. There's not exactly a ton of strategy to apply there, so I chose to go with fast forward. Yeah, back when I was more regular on the Game FAQs Final Fantasy board, and I guess it was when I first got there. It was 2005 or so. I'm pretty sure I only really started doing that when I had first graduated from my undergrad. And I remember I was working a shift job that was actually related to a security call center. But the nature of that job, there weren't a lot of expectations as long as basically the lines were being dealt with. So a lot of the time that freed me up for things like forum browsing. It's not like that anymore. I don't know exactly what's brought me gradually back into the fold of the Final Fantasy board on Game FAQs, but I enjoy it, I guess. This is going to be a crappy fight. Like, someone's going to die here. Possibly two someones. Possibly three someones. We got a lot of poison going on, and they take forever to kill. Okay. It is bedtime. What should I be doing differently? Maybe I'll need to consult the board. Come up with a different strategy, get some equipment somewhere else. Maybe I just need to grind before I even try to get to Crescent Lake or whatever. Anyways, I'm going to literally be done for the night right here. Thank you very much, Morgan and Zoran, for your participation. Game FAQs has gone downhill. Yeah, I pretty much agree with that. Well, I left for a long time. I went to a board that was an offshoot run by a community of users, so... Yeah, thanks, Soren. I'm new to this, so that was great. Yeah, we'll talk more another time. I'll keep doing this. I'm enjoying it. I'm mostly enjoying it. I mean, this didn't go perfectly. Anyway, have a good night, gentlemen.